This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, June 29th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. Hard Truth Distilling cut the ribbon yesterday on a storage facility where whiskey barrels will age for years and that will enable the company to ramp up its output. The Nashville-based distillery estimates the new rack house will allow for an 800% increase in its whiskey production. Master distiller Brian Smith.
In order to build on that momentum and the demand that we're building from new consumers, we have to have the whiskey to back it up. So really everything that we're doing today is really for 5 to 8 years away from now.
The distillery's leaders said Rack House number 3 is not far behind, with its ribbon cutting likely around the same time next year. Subaru of Indiana plans to open a parts distribution facility at a proposed 1.1 million square foot warehouse in Zionsville. About 130 employees would work at the facility, according to town documents. A price tag for the warehouse was not available, nor was a timeline for its construction if it's approved. New York-based Liberation Labs broke ground this morning on its first commercial-scale biomanufacturing facility in Richmond. When complete, the company said the $115 million facility will bring 45 jobs to Wayne County. The plant will produce alternative proteins, which are used in food products such as almond milk and plant-based meat, as well as agricultural products such as biopesticides. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
Indianapolis-based Elevate Ventures today announced the 14 regional winners of its 2023 Elevate Nexus Spring Pitch Competitions. Here's Gary Dick.
The Indiana-based startups earned a total of $640,000 in pre-seed and seed investments. 38 startups from throughout the state were chosen to pitch in the competition. The winners were split among 3 regions and received either a $20,000 pre-seed investment or an $80,000 seed investment. Elevate Ventures said the winners will also join the venture capital firm's development portfolio. The winners range from a B to C postpartum health company in Fort Wayne to an ag tech device manufacturing company for cattle in Indianapolis to a southern Indiana startup developing a device to prevent bed sores. The regional pitch competition winners, including those from past competitions, are eligible to apply for participation in the Elevate Nexus statewide competition, which will provide a total of $320,000 in funding. The statewide competition will take place during Elevate Ventures Rally Conference in downtown Indianapolis on August 23rd. You can view the full list of regional winners at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Plainfield-based Duke Energy is planning to acquire the power generated from the forthcoming Speedway Solar Farm in Shelby County. The utility said the 199 megawatts of energy generated will provide enough electricity to power about 35,000 homes. Duke said last week it has filed a request with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission to approve the 20-year power purchase agreement the utility signed with New York-based Ranger Power, which is developing the solar farm. Speedway Solar is being built on a 1,700-acre plot of land south of Gwynville, Indiana. Construction began in March, and the facility is expected to begin commercial operation by September 2025. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America for the 3rd year running, and Indiana has seen a rise in courts and players around the state. Florida-based Ace Pickleball Club this week announced Fort Wayne as a new franchise location for its indoor pickleball facilities, expected to open by the end of 2024. Brandon Mackey, co-founder of the website Pickleheads, talks about the sport's rapid growth, particularly during the pandemic.
A lot of the activity shifted outdoors to tennis courts and public parks. And I think that drew a lot of awareness to it because people saw it being played out of their local public park. They got curious about it. They wanted it to play. And that kind of sparked an explosion of interest, new facilities being built. Indianapolis has for sure space to build those facilities in a way that you can't really build in New York or Los Angeles.
Indianapolis and Fort Wayne are both in the top 30 on Pickleheads for number of pickleball courts in the U.S. According to the website, there are 267 total pickleball courts around Indiana. Former Colts star Robert Mathis is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.